Australia, and welcome to the first episode of the new series of Life Support.
The only program that tells each and every one of you exactly how to live your lives.
True, because only Life Support has all the real life stylists. It's great to be back.
Yes, it is. My name's Dr. Rudy, and I'll be your media, medico, and money mentor, providing you with all the information you need to be healthy and happy.
I'm Penny, and I'll be showing you how to get the most out of life by doing the least, teaching you how to scam the man and the woman.
And I'm Todd, Life Support's handyman. And if do-it-yourself is your thing, then let me give you a hand with Todd's tips.
And I'm Sigourney. As a modern woman, I'll be nurturing all Australian women in all aspects of their lives, starting tonight with some wonderful ideas for your next dinner party.
And I've got something for all you first-time home buyers, showing you the quickest and cheapest way to renovate that Aussie dream.
I'll be revealing some of the financial benefits of batting for the other team.
And in a very personal family health segment, I'll be taking a look at the sensitive issue of euthanasia.
Yes, we've got all that and so much more, so let's get started.
Okay, so you bought your first house, but all you could afford was a dodgy fibro box like this one. So you don't even want to throw a housewarming party. But listen, there is a cheap way to turn fibro into beautiful, solid brick. All you got to do is get yourself some slide film and take a picture of a brick wall, like this one. Then on the night of your party, stick your slide into the old projector, stick it into the mailbox, and then project the brick onto the nice, flat fibro surface. Costs $20 for the film and processing, $10 for the extra long extension cord. I mean, that's what I call budget renovation. Hey, boys.
Hey, Todd. No, mate.
As a young socialite, I know how important it is to reciprocate hospitality by holding elaborate dinner parties at home. Unfortunately, this can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. Let me show you how. First, invite a dozen of your closest friends over for a formal dinner party. Make a black tie so they know it will be special. And BYO, of course, since you'll be providing a sumptuous 5-course gourmet meal. Set the most elaborate table you can, with a candelabra, crystal, and as many pieces of cutlery as you can find. Let's face it, the more cutlery they see, the more courses they'll expect. Looks fabulous, doesn't it? Looks like we're in for a feast fit for a king. And a few queens. Now, when your guests arrive, take their expensive wines and make sure you walk them past the dining table.
Siggy, this looks fabulous.
You really have gone to some trouble here, haven't you?
Thank you. Just by the look of the table settings, they know they'll be in for a 5-star dining extravaganza. So you'll be the hottest hostess in town before you've even served a rice cracker. Okay, everyone's here. They're drinking their own alcohol, and I've got the rest of their quite excellent wines in here ready for dinner. And all I've served are a few homemade dips that I picked up from the local deli. Now, to take care of that dinner. Hello? What? Oh no! Oh no! No! I'm very sorry, everyone. My parents have been involved in a horrific accident. I'm gonna have to ask you all to leave. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
And there we are. As far as my friends are concerned, I've thrown an amazing dinner, even though they didn't get to eat anything more than some hummus and a rice cracker. So I've got a dozen reciprocal black tie invites coming my way. Not to mention the fantastic wines I picked up tonight. Cheers! Oh, and don't worry about explaining how your parents are later. When you mix in social circles like this, no one ever asks.
I've just got to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
One thing I've learnt from spending time with Sigourney is that sometimes it pays to pander to a man's ego. Like, he needs to feel fully confident if he's going to fully perform. So, next time you bring a boy home, why not make his night by telling him you're a virgin? You might want to practice in the mirror a couple of times so you don't crack up when you say it. This is my first time. This is my first time. And there you have it. You don't have to worry about sounding too convincing. By the time he gets to that stage, he'll have so many hormones in his brain, he'll believe anything. And thanks to your newfound faux virginity, he won't get performance anxiety because he thinks you've got no one to compare him to. And when you start using your Kama Sutra moves on him, he'll just think you're incredibly talented instead of incredibly experienced. This is my first time.
Oh, don't worry, I'll take care of you.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. See ya.
I didn't want to, people sort of think that, you know, I'm promiscuous, that kind of thing. So sometimes you do something like that to say to people, you know, this is, you know, my first time, or, you know, that kind of thing.
It's good for guys, you know, because guys can easily pretend that they're virgins, you know. But for girls, I think it's harder, you know. It can be easily discovered.
No, I don't think I would do, and I don't think I actually look too much like a virgin, and yeah, I don't think I'll come across as a virgin at all.
How's it? Dr. Rudy here. You'd be amazed how many men come into my surgery asking for Rohypnol. Of course, I'm very reluctant to sign these prescriptions, since the media has stigmatized so-called date rape drugs. A man can get into a lot of trouble for giving a woman a good night's sleep. So I advise my patients against Rohypnol, because there are things that you can get over the counter that are just as good. I'm talking about cocktails. Right here, I've got a Long Island iced tea. 666 sour mix, vodka, tequila, rum, gin, and just enough Coca-Cola to make it taste harmless. If the average 60-kilo woman drinks 2 of these, she'll be flat on her back within the hour. Sure, they cost $15 each, but $30 is still cheaper than even the most rudimentary service offered by a prostitute. So don't skimp. It's a false economy. You see, the results speak for themselves, and technically I've done nothing illegal. Just make sure you park close to the bar. It's hard work carrying a dead weight. Bye now.
Oh, Dr. Rudy, what a fabulous idea. I'm sure every Australian man is so relieved to have you back dispensing such valuable advice.
Valuable advice that's also incredibly economical.
Economical?
My word, splurging on expensive cocktails is a great way to keep a date cheap. You won't have to buy her breakfast the next morning, since there's no way she'll be able to keep anything down.
It's also a great way to keep her figure trim.
Yes, it's a win-win situation.
You know, Dr. Rudy, it's funny you should mention eating, because every modern woman knows that the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
That's right, Sigourney, but did you know you can also take a shortcut via his eyes?
Really?
My word, we men are visual creatures, and this is why you women invest a fortune in makeup, lingerie, and electrolysis.
So, if men are most stimulated by visual imagery, why not make his next feast one for his eyes as well? So here's Todd to show us all how to prepare a meal to whet more than just his appetite.
Thanks, Sigourney. Okay, ladies, let's get straight down to it. Get yourself a couple of pieces of bread. Now, it doesn't matter if it's white or rye bread. As Dr. Rudy says, it's all the same on the inside anyway. Cut off the crust and lay them on a large plate, neatly touching. Now, take 2 fillets of smoked salmon, halve them and roll them lengthways into strips, 2 quite thin and 2 thicker. Then fold and position the strips in layers over the edges of the bread, just like this. Now, here's a detail that people tend to forget. Wrap a caper in a triangular fold of salmon and pop it just here. Now, capers used to be quite hard to find, but these days they're pretty much available anywhere. Then add a squeeze of lime and lightly brush a dressing of equal parts of honey, anchovy oil and tarragon vinegar. This helps to give the dish a lovely glisten and also helps to stimulate the olfactory senses as well. Then lastly, add a little bush of alfalfa there for garnish. Use as little or as much as you like. Voila, a symphony in salmon. Looks great, but how does it taste? Well, let's dive in. That is top tucker.
I love going to concerts, especially when I'm close enough to get hit with sweat every time the lead singer shakes his head. Problem is, getting tickets that good is a drag. This single file camping sucks. So, I'm going to show you a great way to get to the front of the line without wasting your time. First up, go home and get a good night's sleep. Leave these losers to their concrete.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm well rested and ready to swing into action. All I need is my Ticketek t-shirt, which I had made up yesterday. A white t-shirt with the Ticketek logo looks pretty official to me. Now I'm off to talk to the kiddies.
Can I have your attention, please? Is anyone waiting for tickets to the Marilyn Manson concert?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, we've just received news from America this morning. Due to a family emergency, Mr. Manson will be pulling out of the tour. I'm sorry, but there will be no tickets on sale today. Be prepared to be yelled at and verbally abused for a few minutes. Yes, sir, I appreciate your disappointment. If you have a problem, please put it in writing and send it to Ticketek. Then when all the brouhaha's died down, you'll find yourself at the front of the queue. Just in time.
I can't believe it. I can't believe you won't let me go. Everyone else is allowed to go, but I'm not allowed to go. You're the worst parents ever. I hate you. I wish I was adopted.
As door slamming and yelling become everyday communication in your home, or his adoption wishes crushing your parental esteem, well, don't worry. Dr. Rudy is here with more timely advice for all you perturbed parents whose little angel has fallen along with his testicles and turned into a teenage devil. There is a way to teach your child how to respect your feelings. When he next tries emotional blackmail by wishing he was adopted, just tell him he is.
I wish I was adopted.
You are.
This shock admission is sure to get his attention. Then continue by telling him that since things obviously aren't working out, you'd appreciate it if he could start looking for his biological parents now. If the child remains skeptical about your confession, prepare an old shoebox full of history to further legitimize your claims. An old birth certificate from a country town and a tatty black and white photo of a girl too young to be a responsible mother should convince him that any family resemblance is just a coincidence. And if you really want to teach him a lesson, just tell him that you've taken the liberty of tracking down his real parents for him, and they will be here to pick him up soon. Now, just get 2 of your friends and dress them as a teenager's worst parental nightmare, and send him on his way.
You're going to live with them now, and you won't be needing that where you're going.
It'll only take a buggy ride around the block for him to realize that life with you isn't so bad after all. And you've taught him that when it comes to emotional blackmail, compared to you, he is a complete novice. This is Dr. Rudy asking you to remember me in your acceptance speech for Parent of the Year. Bye now.
Gee, what a top idea.
Yes, more advice that you won't find on any other lifestyle show. It does feel good to be back.
Oh, it certainly does. And because we're back,
and here for you,
it means that we're ready to receive your letters and emails.
That's right. So if you've got a problem, an issue, or just want a decision made, why not write in and tell us about it?
That's right. Just send your letters into Life Support, Locked Bag 028, Crow's Nest 1585.
I look forward to reading some of those.
I look forward to the next segment.
Hey, if you've been paying attention, then you should know by now that on Life Support, I'm the one showing you the coolest techniques to take advantage of other people. It's such an important part of life. Well, today I'm going to show you how to double the number of people you can take advantage of overnight. All you have to do is become a lesbian. Come with me, I'll show you how. Becoming a lesbian isn't a big deal. You can still have sex with men. Most lesbians do, except for the ugly ones. Because having sex with men is still the best way to get ahead at work. But having sex with women can be useful too. Look, basically, the rule of thumb is, if you want to screw with someone's head, you've got to screw them first. If having sex with another woman doesn't turn you on, that's no reason not to do it. There are several ways to psych yourself up to go down. First of all, do your research. Watch a porno. They've always got lesbians in them. Then, step 2, get really drunk. Everything seems like a better idea when you're off your face. Then when it comes to the crunch, just lie back, close your eyes and let her do all the work. Women are naturally selfless, so she'll probably go along with it. Once she's your doe-eyed love slave, it's all plain sailing. Lead her to believe you're sleeping around because you think she's fat, or make her feel you're embarrassed to be seen with her because she says stupid things. Don't worry, you'll instinctively know how to manipulate her. Basically, do to her everything a man's ever done to you.
I've got to go.
Oh, before you do, you still haven't given me your PIN number. This isn't much use without it, Pumpkin.
1585. See ya.
See ya.
I mean, everybody loves you when you buy and, you know, and all that, but I don't know. I don't know if I just could be bothered. Like, I'll find other ways instead of using my sexuality.
I don't know. If the incentive's right enough, I might be able to sleep with a man, but I wouldn't think so, like, just right now.
I wouldn't do it, but, I mean, girls always look better on other girls, so why not?
You know, I'll say to my girlfriends, oh, hey, you know, she's all right. Oh, she's really pretty, actually, like that. But not, you know, hey, I'll, you know, try and get her in that sort of frame of mind and, you know, try and use her or anything like that, no.
Jeez, Penny, you're full of surprises.
That's right, Todd. This year, I'm pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, right. So what are you, lipstick?
Todd?
Oh, right, lavender. Well, you're definitely not diesel.
Can you watch the segment?
Yeah, I'll watch the segment. Maybe I should watch it again.
Well, sorry, Todd, there's no time for that, because right now, we're going to watch this.
So do you, like, get constant cravings?
Now, I know some of you ladies like to read books. I'm not going to criticise that. We all have our little vices. But as a modern woman, it's important that we don't intellectually intimidate the man in our life. So, next time you bring back your latest hottie to your place, never let him see one of these. No man will feel like a man with a woman who's read all these political biographies, social essays, and great works of literature. So you've got to hide them where no man will think of looking. I find the best place is under the kitchen sink. Hide them in here behind the cleaning products. Even if a man does open the cupboard, one look at the Pano Clean and he'll shut it again, quick smart. Now, there might be times when you actually want to read when he's around. Simple. Just take a book. I'm using James Joyce's Ulysses. Just cut out the pages and glue them into your favourite magazine. Now, of course, one side of each page is going to be glued down. So you'll have to buy another copy of the same book to get all the opposite pages. Now all you have to do is avoid dropping insightful, informed comments during conversation.
James Joyce is so overrated.
I find the best way to do this is to say nothing. And finally, I must say a word about reading in bed. I know it's popular, but it's just so unnecessary. Any woman who needs to read to get to sleep isn't managing her social life correctly. Nighty-night.
How's it? Dr. Rudy here with more comforting counsel for fretful family members. There is nothing more distressing than watching an elderly relative suffer an agonizingly long and painful death. And since euthanasia is still illegal, there is no quick relief in sight. This situation is archaic and inhumane. If Aunt Martha here were a dog, a vet would put her down without a second thought. So that's exactly what you should do. Simply dress your terminally ill to look like a pet dog and take them to the nearest vet to be put down. Come on, Martha. And this way you can rest easy knowing that your loved one has died peacefully and with dignity. Bye now.
Dr. Rudy, I'm so sorry for your loss.
I'm fine. Just remember to tell the vet you want a home burial for your pet. Otherwise, you'll lose your deposit on the animal costume.
Yeah, right. Well, I can't believe it, but here we are at the end of the first show of Series 2.
And didn't time fly? But don't worry, because we'll be back next week with some more great ideas on how to make your life just that little bit better.
I'll be dispensing more valuable advice in my family health segment. If you're the parent of a teenage girl, you can't afford to miss it.
I'll be demoing the quickest, cheapest and most stimulating way to repaint a room.
I'll be illuminating you ladies out there on the latest in birth control.
And I'll be heading back into the kitchen, and you know you wouldn't want to miss that.
Till then, keep sending those letters in.
And in the meantime, why not bake something?
And remember, we're here for you.
Good night, Australia.
Hello, Australia.
And welcome to another episode of Life Support.
The only lifestyle show with the team dedicated to styling the life you lead.
Simply by telling you exactly how to live it.
It's great to be your company tonight, and who knows, we might just hold that tip you need to change your life.
I'm Life Support's modern woman Sigourney, and tonight I'll be showing all you ladies the benefits of doing some volunteer work in your local hospital's rehabilitation ward.
I'm Penny, and I'll be teaching you about real life. A little later on, I'll be enlightening you as to how to repaint a room in a very stimulating and community-spirited way.
Dr. Rudy here. In my men's health segment, I'll be revealing the very latest natural cure for impotence. Can you afford to miss that?
No, I wouldn't think so. I'm Life Support's handyman. My name's Todd, and tonight I'll be letting you in on the safest way to enjoy having a pet pit bull terrier. It's a great DIY project.
I'll be keeping an eye out for that segment.
Yes, we've got all that and so much more. That's right. So let's get stuck in. For the modern woman in high society, the only thing more important than the right dress is the right address. And since you probably don't have the right address, I'm going to show you how to move in the right circles without actually moving. Simply select the most desirable suburb with the crescent you most want to live in, and change your stationery and cards to that address. Then go to your local post office, hire a post office box and fill in one of these mail redirection forms. And there you have it. Thanks to busy PAs and lazy PR firms, you'll soon be included in all the smartest balls and parties and known by all the best people, because your address is now the best address in town. Oh, goody. Of course, you'll never be able to invite anyone to your real house, but with your new address, you'll be too busy to spend any time at home anyway. Happy house hunting, party girl.
There's nothing quite like a couple of cleansing ales at the end of a working day. But if you're like me, 2 quickly becomes 4, plus 1 more for the road. And now, the road is your greatest obstacle to home. Getting caught drink driving on our roads is a problem. But if you do get caught, you're a bloody idiot. But if you think before you drink, there is a way to make the drive home without incident. The first thing you need to do is place a sensibly dressed dummy in the passenger seat of your car. Someone who looks trustworthy and tutorly. Then, just stick a sign like this onto the roof of your car. And if you do happen to start swerving all over the road or driving 40 kilometres an hour, no one will take any notice, because that's what learner drivers do. And there you have it, a great little DIY if you DUI. So take a tip from Todd and keep a body and a banner in the boot, guaranteed to keep you out of cab fares and court fines.
Young guys are still growing up, man. It's just a phase everyone goes through, but the older guys should have realised by now, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of music students down there and they play the didgeridoo, right? And they say, like, you hear them talking, saying, oh, you know, just circular breathe. So, you know, you get out of it. I don't know if that actually works.
And I absolutely reeked of alcohol and stank of alcohol, and I got pulled over. So I just shoved a whole lot of fries in my mouth and put the window down, and the officer's just looking at me because I've got fries and everything hanging out of my mouth, and he goes, oh, you haven't got your lights on. I said, and then he goes, yeah, well, you know, turn your lights on, off you go. And dare say, if I didn't have the fries, he would have smelt it a mile away. The stench of McDonald's has killed it all.
There's nothing worse than migrating to a pad where the previous tenant was gullible enough to believe that rag finish walls look good. And your landlord's not going to pay to have the walls repainted because technically they are freshly painted. You could do it yourself, which would involve expensive paint and back-breaking labour. But if you can't be asked, don't worry, because I've found a quick, cheap and responsible way to get that redecorating done. First of all, get hold of a box of spray paint. Make sure you've got the right protective gear. Then just let the local kids know that your place is available as a safe chroming house where you supply the aerosols. Most people think that the youth of the nation are just a bunch of lazy, useless bums, but all they really need is the right motivation and the right working environment. So, close all the windows and doors and let your inhalant interior decorators get to it. You probably don't know it, but chroming can create feelings of stimulation, excitement, giddiness and delusions of grandeur, which are all the signs of a good interior decorator. Now, there are a few things you should know before you let anyone do this on your premises. Firstly, make sure you use an enamel paint, which contains the right chemicals. Most brands are clearly marked for your convenience. Secondly, make sure your panting painters start at the top of the walls, because because the higher they get, the lower they're going to go. And you don't want to end up with some half-assed, half-finished job, so keep an eye on them. If they look like they're struggling, give them a hand. Move them into the recovery position. Might also be a good idea to put some drop sheets like these down, because while you don't want anyone choking on their own vomit, you totally don't want it all over your floor either. And that's all there is to it. Turn your living room from this into this. You get a new look for your living room in half the time and for less than half the price. And you can start building a real sense of community in your hood by letting the kids know that the next time they take a trip, they've got you for travel insurance. See ya.
Oh, Penny, what a wonderful way to make over a room while helping the youth of today. I think you should be congratulated for giving those young people a safe place to enjoy the foibles of being young people.
Really? I would have thought you of all people would have been dead set against it.
I'm not that straight, Penny. I've dabbled with some inhaling games myself.
Really?
Oh, yes. I remember, only just, this one afternoon, I must have inhaled at least half a bottle of Chanel No. 5.
The perfume? How does that work?
Oh, it's simple. You just spray a generous amount of Chanel No. 5 into a Prada handbag, and then... Oh, yes. That's the stuff. That takes me to another place.
Yeah? I don't think I'd call it chroming, though.
Oh, I don't. I call it Chanelling. You want to go?
Nah, I'm good. But hey, why don't you have another crack at it while we have a crack at this?
How's it? Dr. Rudy here. I get a lot of letters asking me what's the best way to break up with a woman. Well, there are several schools of thought. Some say you owe it to her to do it face to face. Some say you should let her down gently. Whereas I say, bugger that. Think of yourself. The number one thing you need to consider before breaking up is to protect your property. You need to get all of your things out of her place and get her key to your place before she gets wind of your intentions. Then do the actual breaking up in her home. That way, if she becomes violently angry, anything she smashes will be hers. Now, it's also a good idea to do it face to face so there are no misunderstandings. How's it, darling? Fine, and you? Are you on your way home? Good. See you soon. Bye now. Now, you don't want her to think she has a chance of winning you back. She'll only start stalking you. So you really have to spell it out for her. Now, I've invited a friend over to help me do just that.
Oh.
Because the best way to let your girlfriend know how you feel is to wait until she's due home one day, then let her catch you having sex with another woman.
Rudy, I'm home!
Trust me, this is the only way to make sure she gets the message loud and clear. I've met someone else. It's not you, it's me.
Get out! Get out!
And that's all there is to it. Follow my instructions and trust me, she'll never want to see you again.
You're a pig! I never want to see you again.
Two birds with one stone. I'm on form today.
Good on you, Barney. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Oh, g'day. I don't know about the old cliche, but this pit bull terrier really is my best friend. But unfortunately, history has proven that his breed isn't the greatest mate to young children, and as a result, there's a whole lot of rules and regulations about owning a pit bull. You have to be over 18, and you have to keep them behind a secure, child-proof fence, etc., etc. And if you do take your dog out of the yard, you have to keep them on a short lead at all times. It's not that much fun going down to the local park and playing frisbee with a dog that's on a short lead. But don't worry, there is a way to let your potentially perilous pup off the leash to enjoy some playtime without you copping a fine. All you got to do is give your pit bull a makeover. Just glue some breed-altering characteristics onto its coat here, and hey presto, pit bull terrier to French poodle. Ooh la la. Now, He may not look as tough as Barney, but at least Bernard here can enjoy his freedom and a little bit of a runaround.
Go on, Bernard. Go on, son.
And if your dog does maul a kitty, who would have thought a poodle could be so uncharacteristically violent? So when they tell you you have to have your dog put down, well, the vet will be expecting a poodle. So, just take him one, knowing your baby's home safe and sound. Come on. Come on. Get in. And that's all there is to it. So take a tip from Todd, a little canine cover-up means you can enjoy a real man's dog.
You don't just put a dog down because it bit somebody. Not automatically. You got to know the reason why. Was it being poked and sticked, and was it, you know, encouraged to actually fight for his life?
I don't like the idea of killing an animal because they've attacked people. It's just like you know, when sharks attack people. You know, that's their territory.
Killed him. Destroyed him. You know, that's it.
Underage drinking is becoming a real problem. Licensing laws are stricter, fines heavier, and fake IDs more expensive than ever. So, if you're underage and feel like a night out, there is something you and your mates can do to get you into any pub or club. All you need is one of these. Not only will it guarantee you entry, but with any luck, you and your bridesmaids won't have to pay for a single drink. So there you are, underage rages. Give this a go. And if you're in the mood for a bit of Y chromosome action, don't worry. This doesn't say too late I'm taken, it just says try a little harder. And they always do. See ya.
Look at this. Most people think this is a terrible act of wanton destruction of our great Australian real estate heritage perpetuated by a few mentally disturbed young men. But even this cloud of smoke has a silver lining. Research into the psychosexual motivations of the average Aussie pyromaniac have produced exciting medical breakthroughs in the treatment of impotence. That's right, men. Impotence. Now you don't need to spend money on expensive pills, pumps or prostitutes. All you have to do is start a fire of your own. You see, nothing brings on a rush of blood quite like being responsible for the devastation, drama and media attention of a good bushfire. It means men with small, useless penises now can have something they can be proud of, and once the wind picks up, so will you, knowing that these things can sometimes burn for days. Now, this is an impotence treatment that's 100% effective and 100% natural. As we all know, fire is how the Australian landscape regenerates itself, burning away the old, decaying and ugly and replacing it with the new and more beautiful. Take this for example. This was a typical family home, an unbelievable eyesore from the 70s. But thanks to the fire, it has been burnt to the ground to make way for modern and vastly improved accommodation. And you'd have reduced the number of native pests that are likely to jump out in front of your car at night. Yes, this clean cull has made the road safer for all Australians, and that's something to be proud of. So ladies, if your man comes home smelling of smoke and soiled with soot, you'll know that his little fire hose is now a fire chief, and he'll be ready to fan the flames of your desire. So men, if you suffer from being a bit of a softcock, why not light a bushfire? Pana.
Girls, by now you all know that there is nothing or no one more precious in life than your man. But sometimes his home habits can just push you to the point where you want to ask him politely if he could please pick up after himself every now and then. But there's no need to get confrontational. He's not likely to change, and girls, he won't take your attempts to change him lightly. But not to worry. I've found the perfect way for you to meet a man that you can change to be exactly the way you want him to be, without him even knowing it. All you have to do is offer up your services as a volunteer in your local hospital's rehabilitation ward. This is where handsome young men who suffer from brain damage are taught to walk, talk, and basically function normally again. So while you rehabilitate him, why not reprogram him? Now, the first thing you have to do is pick your potential partner. You'll find the nurses are very obliging at helping you find what you're after.
This is Marco. He was carjacked for his BMW right across the road from the law firm that he works for. He suffered massive brain damage when he was brutally beaten across the back of his head.
Thank God it was the back. I'll take him. Just one foot in front of the other. Well done, Marco. Once you've chosen your man, it's time to start his rehabilitation and reprogramming. Bend all the way down. That's right, we don't leave a wet towel on the floor, do we? That's right, it's all coming back to you now, isn't it? Now, underpants. Near or in the laundry basket. Of course, early on in the relationship, there'll be some things that he can't do for himself, and you'll have to do them for him. So, if you don't like the length of his sideburns, trim them. And his personal grooming needn't stop there. It gives him that smooth athletic appearance and the motivation to start speaking again. Then it will be time to consummate your physical relationship. And ladies, this is where your efforts can reap the biggest benefits. Remember, he has no idea how to do things or how long to do them for. So simply tell him that it's customary for all lovemaking to commence with at least half an hour of cunnilingus, followed by lovemaking in only the positions you like. It's amazing being able to tell a man what you like and actually have him do it. And to top it off, post-coital conversations will be the best you've ever had. It's not like a full heel and not a stiletto. It's just enough to shape my calves nicely. What do you think? And there you have it, ladies. Help yourself by helping someone else. You can fulfill your Florence Nightingale fantasies and a few other fantasies as well. And as long as he's understanding of banking, investing or lawyering eventually come back to him, you'll have made a good long-term investment. And if they don't, the short-term benefits will have been well worth it.
Well, Dr. Rudy, here we are, second week back, and look at the amount of letters we've already received.
Yes, Penny, I think average Australians have been quite stuck without us.
Totally. So if you've got a problem you can't get your head around,
Or you simply want a decision made about your life.
why not write in and tell us about it? That's right. Send your letters in to Life Support.
SBS locked bag 028
Crow's Nest.
1585.
And folks, the sooner you get them in, the sooner we can help out.
But right now, why don't we take a look at the next segment?
One of the best things about living in the land of Oz is that we're surrounded by 20,000 kilometres of coastline that offers up what I think is arguably the best seafood in the world. I mean, aren't we just spoilt for choice? An amazing array of fish and crustaceans and molluscs. But for me, one of the best fruits of the sea is this little gem, Seafood Extender. Now, doesn't that look just tops? Oh, and there it is, that clean sea spray smell and the mild, almost sweet accent of the plastic shell. Seafood Extender is available all year round and from all regions in Australia, but in some places it's known as Seafood Stick or Seafood Highlighter. But don't worry when you're asking for it, most fishmongers will know what you're talking about. Now, when you're buying your Seafood Extender, how do you know you're getting the freshest you can buy? Firstly, have a good look at it. The flesh should be clean and white, and the markings along the back here should be of a deep orange colour. Then, give it a gentle squeeze. Now, it should have a little bit of give in it, but not too much. And no one enjoys having limp extender in their mouth. But the best way to tell you if your Seafood Extender's on the go is simply to smell it. Oh, now that's delicious. I mean, it must have only been defrosted this morning. The only way you get anything fresher than that is if you caught it yourself. I'll have half a kilo of the Seafood Extender, thanks, mate. Now, another thing to try and keep in mind is to buy roughly the same size and weight. This will ensure that your cooking times will be even.
$3.50, thanks, mate.
Oh, and it's cheaper than the chips. Now, stay with me, because I'm about to show you some delicious ways to prepare this little treasure from Neptune's garden. So lay your extender down flat with the exposed end facing you and insert your blade at the top here. Slide the blade away from you, down the length of the extender. Oh, there you have it. No bones, no scales, no waste. Now, all you need is a martini glass, a lettuce leaf, and some Thousand Island dressing. A seafood classic. Now, living in a multicultural society such as Australia means you can enjoy preparing it in a variety of exotic ways. For instance, this Chinese classic of steamed extender with ginger and shallots. And what about this French classic of extender thermidor? And if you're a fan of Japan, why not thinly slice your extender for that sashimi style meal? A versatile, dependable and delicious addition to extend your food repertoire. Enjoy.
Oh, Todd, you've simply got to give me the recipe for that fabulous looking Chinese dish.
Yeah, I could totally tee something up. And if you at home want a recipe for any of the dishes prepared on tonight's show, why not write in for a fact sheet? I know you know the address.
Well, I simply can't believe it, but here we are at the end of another show.
Yes, and I hope we helped all of you out there at the end of your tether.
If we didn't, don't worry, because we'll be back next week with more great ideas.
Invaluable advice.
And top tips.
So keep sending in those letters.
Because how can we support your life unless we know what's wrong with it?
Until then, be good to one another, you hear?
And in the meantime, why not learn a language?
And remember, we're here for you.
Good night, Australia.
And welcome to tonight's episode of Life Support.
I'm Sigourney, and tonight I'll be taking all you modern women through the most magnificent modern method of birth control.
I'm Penny, and I'm here to teach you about all the stuff that actually matters.
Dr. Rudy, happy to be here again tonight. And in a short while, I'll be showing you parents how to give your child the greatest gift they already possess.
Jeez, you'd need to be a doctor to get your head around that one, Rudy.
Not if you keep watching, my friend.
Yeah, right. G'day, I'm Todd, and as you can probably tell, I'm a handy man. And tonight, I'll be revealing a potential killer that exists in every family home. But don't worry, I will be letting you in on what to do about it.
Oh, Todd, that truly sounds like must-see TV.
It certainly does.
And it sounds like we've got a pretty packed show.
Oh, we sure do. So let's not hang about, let's get stuck in.
Tonight on Child Watch, I want to talk to you about school bullies. Bullies have always been a problem, picking on the weak and different just because they can. Every day, hundreds of kids live in constant fear of being physically or, if they're lucky, verbally abused. So, If you're the victim of school bullying, don't worry, because here's the solution. All you have to do is keep a diary where you plan a school massacre, making sure that you clearly and repeatedly name each bully as a potential target. Then just leave the diary somewhere to be discovered. And once word gets out that there's a planned revenge shooting, the bullies should stop their bullying. Now, this sounds easy enough, but there are a few tricks to making this work for you. Firstly, never use your name in the diary. Always refer to yourself as I. There are two reasons for this. Firstly, the diary can't be traced back to you. And secondly, chances are these bullies are picking on other kids too. So if they don't know who the potential trigger man is, they're going to have to be nice to everyone. Then, just to be sure, make sure you don't use your own handwriting. Type everything out on computer and cut and paste it into this book. Sure, that takes time, but cutting and pasting makes it look like you're totally preoccupied with revenge, and everyone will take the whole thing more seriously. You might also want to include some newspaper clippings of other revenge shootings, just to show where you got your inspiration from. And make sure that the guns you claim to use in your planned attack are easily available in this country. You don't want to blow the whole thing by claiming to own a gun that you saw on telly, only to find out that it doesn't really exist. So do your research. Your best bet is to go for something that's not too fancy, a gun that anyone would own. And there you have it. A cheap, easy and crafty way to keep those bullies at bay. And not only have you saved yourself, but every other kidded kid too. And you've given the bullies a taste of what it's like to live in constant fear. See ya.
As any handyman will tell you, it's difficult to get rid of chemicals and poisons that you use in your everyday DIY projects. Local council and the EPA have really cracked down on people who dump these toxic nasties. So, take a tip from Todd and mark your dangerous chemicals with an instantly recognisable logo. Then, leave them in the back of an unlocked car and you can be sure some fashion junkie will come by and help themselves. You see, a passing adolescent isn't going to care they haven't seen the advertisement for a bright yellow Nike sports drink that smells like sump oil. They just see a jar with a swoosh on it and swoop. Now, this branding works for anything you might want to get rid of. So, there's no need for you to go to the tip ever again. You can get rid of any unwanted computers, fridges or furniture simply by leaving them in the back of an unlocked car with the right logo in the wrong suburb overnight. And when you're finally done, don't pay the parking fee, just leave the car. Yeah, that's right. Just do it.
I've got this big thing against Nike at the moment. I reckon labels are a big sign of low self-confidence and low self-esteem in a person, that they need to conform to what society thinks that they should be wearing.
Shoes, they're the latest ones from Nike. Yeah. These jeans are from Echo, which is there. Shirts by Guess. Watch is Jag. Oh, religious beads, I'm Buddhist, and Country Road bag. Yeah, so it like on average a week I'd probably spend like $200 on clothing.
I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed watching the Winter Olympics on TV. It made me so want to be there. Well, it may be too late for Utah, but if you want to go to the next Winter Olympics, now is the time to start thinking about it. Because if you're going to go to the Olympics, why not go as an Olympic athlete? Of course, generally speaking, it's incredibly hard work to become an elite international athlete. But if you're like me and you haven't played competitive sports since you were forced to do hockey in Year 10, don't worry, there is a loophole. Can you do this? Then you've got all the skill it takes to become a member of the Australian curling team. Curling is a wonderful sport, kind of like lawn bowls on ice. The person who slides the rock down requires some skills. But a curling team also needs 2 people to do the sweepy thing. And anyone who's ever cleaned a kitchen floor already has all the skills they need. So get your act together and start curling now. Who knows, if you get really good at sweeping, you might even get a medal. Oh, Dr. Rudy, I have to say, I get so overwhelmed by the amount of mail we receive.
Ah, no, we must be quite the envy of Santa Claus.
But unlike Santa Claus, we're very real and here to help.
That's right. And did you know, Sigourney, that I get a lot of letters from parents asking for the easiest way to explain the facts of life to their son or daughter?
A very embarrassing and awkward situation for any parent, I'm sure.
That's right. If you're not trained to be completely objective about sex, like me, it is a most dauntingly difficult thing to do. Our grandparents used allegories like the birds and the bees, and my father gave me an illustrated book called Where Did I Come From?
But these days, kids aren't into allegories and books, they're into television.
And that makes giving them the big talk an absolute doddle. All you have to do is reach into the back of your wardrobe and pull out one of your old porn videos. Something like Debbie Does Dallas, a real classic. Then line it up at a nice heterosexual one-on-one scene.
Just make sure you turn the volume down so they don't hear any nasty swearing.
Yes. Then call the youngster into the room, press play, and show them exactly how babies are made.
So simple, and a moment to cherish for parent and child alike.
Of course, you'll have to explain that it doesn't normally go all over the back like that. That's just for demonstration purposes.
So there you go, a refreshingly frank way to explain the facts of life.
And all it took was an old porno. Speaking of which, it's always best to use a video from the pre-silicon implanted 70s. That way, you won't distort your child's idea of body image.
Well, I went and looked it up at North Sydney Library. I think I was about in year 3, and the kids in year 5 were talking about periods. So I went up to the front counter and said, "Can you show me the books on periods?" And they went, "What period? Like the Renaissance, the blah?" And I'm going, no, periods, you know. And they kind of led me off to this section. I spent all day looking at books just going, "Oh, that's so gross."
One day when I was 12, 13, that happened. My dad asked me about, it's just funny hearing your parents say penis, vagina, all the different things. And especially my dad has a strong Indian accent. So it's pretty funny.
I just used this video in the white box. I thought, oh yeah, what's this? I might have a look. So I put in the video recorder. It was pretty explicit stuff, X-rated, I say. And it was pretty shocking for a 7-year-old back then.
Yeah, my dad's a Catholic, I'm 1 of 7, and I found his book, The Joy of Sex, in the cupboard when I was about 10. It was very interesting reading.
No, I'm a wog. It's not going to happen. Never ever would that happen, that sex education talk. You would not find that. Very, very rarely in a wog family.
Oh, Dr. Rudy, you're always looking out for the youth of the nation.
I'll do what I can.
And right now, let's take a look at this.
Drugs can ruin your life. I'm sure they feel good. And all that stuff about them being bad for your health is just government propaganda. But the downside of getting high is that drugs are really expensive. So, for the sake of your bank balance, I'm going to show you a great way to get free drugs whenever you want them.
Simply join the police force. Once you've filled in a couple of forms, taken a couple of tests and completed a few months of basic training, the government will give you a handgun and put you out on the streets. Now, if you can't get a good deal from a dealer once you're on patrol, you should have no troubles getting fixed up back in the police station locker room. Oh, she looks like she's on something good. See ya. Hey, mate, where'd you get your stuff?
G'day. We all know that too much television is bad for children, and at 60 kilos, this is far too much television. You see, unfortunately there's been an increasing number of incidents where young kiddies have jostled with the television only to have it fall down on top of them, killing them and the TV. So tonight, I'm going to show you how to avoid this tragic double fatality in your home. Now, you could always just buy a lighter, smaller television like this one, but there's no need to go to extremes. I mean, you've already given up enough to be a parent. Of course, you could shell out for one of these new plasma screen TVs. It's top of the line and it's light enough to hang on the wall away from wandering hands. But at $15,000, well, the kid's already costing you around $30,000 a year, and you don't know where that money's going to come from. So the best thing to do is ensure your existing set is secure and safe, and that is so simple. Just build a fence around your television so that the kiddies can't get to it. You can pick up your materials from your local pool shop and bolt it to the walls and floor. Just remember to put in a gate so that you can get in to put on a video or DVD. So take a tip from Todd and install a preventative playpen around your TV today and protect the two most precious things in your life.
Hello, Australia, and welcome.
I'm so bored.
These days, children are far too reliant on expensive toys and computer games to keep themselves entertained. As a result, you parents end up spending more money every birthday and Christmas on presents that you hope will keep kids like Hosni here amused. So next birthday, why don't you try giving them the gift that keeps on giving? Give them their imagination. Sure enough, all children should use their imagination, only most haven't found it. And here's how you can give it to them. Simply take a large empty box and gift wrap it for the special day. Children love unwrapping presents, and the bigger the better, and their imagination will get going just by trying to guess what's inside. Happy birthday, Hosni.
Wow, is it a train set?
Yes, it is. It's a PlayStation as well.
Wow, a train set and a PlayStation.
It's anything you want it to be. It's your imagination. Let it run wild and you can have or do anything you like.
But there's nothing in here.
There's something marvelous in there. You just don't know how to use it yet. Keep trying. And there you have it. Hours of fun, and it's practically free, and it doesn't need batteries. He may not thank me for it now, but when he's 35, overweight and balding, he'll still be able to look in the mirror and see only a matinee idol looking back. And that's a great gift. Bye now.
Ladies, if you're a modern woman like me, you wouldn't settle for anything less than the perfect man. But when it comes to his looks, there's always something about him that isn't quite right. Maybe his lips are too thin, his eyes too close together, or his chin too weak, even if his credit rating is strong. But who amongst us has the time to endlessly search for this Mr. Perfect? Well, there's no need to worry, because there is a way you can have someone else do the searching for you. All you have to do is head to your local police station and file a report about how you were attacked by an intruder. Then give a lengthy and very detailed description of your attacker to a sketch artist. Yes, his eyes were expressive, exactly the right space apart, and a deep blue colour, like Mediterranean rock pools. And he had a very sculptured jaw and cheekbones, not as sculptured as Guy Pearce though. And he has just the fullest, softest lips. Lips you can imagine kissing for hours and hours.
In facial hair?
No, thank you. Once your vision is complete, oh yes, that's him. That's definitely him. Now it's time to set the boys in blue out to round up the anything but usual suspects. Can I get a closer look at number 3, please?
Number 3, step forward. Turn to your left. Turn to your right.
Then, as soon as you've found him, tell the police they haven't. I'm afraid it's none of them.
All right, you're all free to go.
Excuse me. I'm in the bathroom. Hi. Remember, one-way glass means you can see them, but they couldn't see you.
Would you like to go for a drink?
Oh, boys, I'd love to join you for a drink. You go ahead and I'll catch up.
Great. See ya.
And there you have it. I've got my pick of 4 magnificent men, and it took all of about 4 minutes. And if you don't have any success with them, remember, your assailant is still out there. You know, Penny, since your story last week about chroming, we had a big response from our viewers.
Choice. I love to interface. It's all about connecting with the folks out there.
And with a few folks in here. Apparently, Dr. Rudy was very impressed by your advice last week.
Really?
Oh, yes. In fact, I think it inspired his next segment.
Yeah? Huh. Just proves there's something for everyone in my POV.
I guess.
How's it? Dr. Rudy here. You know, many of you young male viewers have consulted me, all with the same problem. You feel there is a distinct possibility that you are gay, but you will not be completely convinced of this until you experience the physical nature of homosexuality. The problem is, if you have homosexual sex and found out you are straight, you will have outed yourself for no good reason at all. But don't worry, bar-curious boys. All you need to do is test the waters in a covert way. And this is easy to do, especially if you and your friends are into chroming. All you have to do is get hold of a can of water-based paint. Then the next time you and your friends indulge in some inhalant use, you use this. That way, when everyone else is bossed out, you will still be conscious and can have your way with the aerosol addict of your choice. Then if you discover that homosexuality isn't for you, well, no one will ever know that you once had a crack at it. If, however, you find that gay sex is for you, just inhale a can of the real stuff and join your comatose canoodler in a post-coital catnap. So, there you go, boys. Give that a go. A clandestine way to find out if you're gay. Bye now.
They can't tell, but like other people will probably tell them, like, you know, your hand movements are suggesting that you're gay, or the way you talk, it's like a stereotypical thing.
I suppose some of them you can't tell, and the only really way to test them is like just start pushing up on them and see how they react.
I love me footy, but I don't love the aches and pains that set in after a match. If you've got a strain injury or a serious bruise, the best thing to do is apply some of these. Problem being, after a particularly rough match, you soon run out of packets. That's why you've got to take a tip from Todd, because there is an easier way. Most of us have one of these lying around the house somewhere. What you got to do is empty out the polystyrene beads and just replace it with frozen peas. So the next time you've given your all for your captain, you can sit back and relax. Total relief.
There's nothing I dig more than a totally huge night out. And at the end of one of those nights, I'm always fully starving. The only bummer is I've got enough money to either get home or get something to eat. And I always choose to eat. And I always choose to eat pizza. Because if you ask for home delivery, they'll always take you too. See ya.
As modern women, birth control is a constant issue in our lives. There are so many alternatives. Condoms, the pill, the diaphragm, the spermicides. And you know what? None of these methods are 100% effective. There are two ways to avoid becoming a mother: abstinence or hysterectomy. Now, for ideological reasons, I could never choose abstinence. So today, I'm going to take you through the benefits of being completely sterilised. For a start, the female reproductive organs weigh the best part of a kilo, so having them cut out is a great way to lose weight. Then, once they're gone, no more surfing the crimson tide. You can surf every day of the month. Plus, you'll save a fortune on condoms and pill prescriptions, and you'll never have to visit the abortion clinic again. I know what you're thinking. Surely getting a hysterectomy is sacrificing the most powerful weapon in any woman's armoury, her ability to trap a man into a shotgun wedding. Not at all. Just because you can't get pregnant doesn't mean you can't say you're pregnant.
Oh, poor Sigourney. Bet you're glad to be rid of those pesky tonsils.
I am. Of course, one day I'll want to give my husband children, and I'll do just that, through adoption. It's so much better for the figure, and it's all the rage in Hollywood. Now that I'm barren, I can relax and have fun, safe in the knowledge that the only person I'll have to mother is the man in my life.
My word, Sigourney, what a practical idea. I may just start recommending that to my patients.
I'm sure the more women know it's available, the more women will choose to have it done.
Yeah, right.
Well, check this out, guys. You're not going to believe it, but here we are at the end of another show.
And I hope we've provided some relief to those of you who've required it.
And if not, try and keep it together for another 7 days. We'll be back.
That's right, with more great advice you won't find on any other lifestyle show.
Until then, you Australians be good to one another.
And in the meantime, why not get involved in a charity?
And remember, gang, the only reason we're in here is because you're out there.
See you next week.
Good
night, Australia.
Australia.
And welcome to this week's episode of Life Support.
The only lifestyle program that doesn't just aim to solve some of your problems, we aim to solve them all. Oh yeah, we're raising the bar.
That's right, and we do just that by giving you most of the experts with all the advice you need.
Topped off with our special kind of warmth. I'm Sigourney, and if you're a modern woman like me, then you'll love the wonderful ideas I've got for you tonight.
I'm Todd, and you should be looking to me if you're a DIYer, because with Todd's tips, half a brain and a bit of luck, there's nothing on this planet you can't do yourself.
I'm Dr. Rudy, and my several medical degrees in a diversified portfolio means I know all there is about the finer things in life. And tonight I'll be sharing that by showing you how to get the most out of a good wine.
That sounds all right.
That's right, we've got that and so much more.
So let's not keep them waiting. Let's get started.
With the boom in DVD sales and expensive widescreen TVs, inviting your friends over for a movie night when you've just got a normal TV and VCR has become an embarrassing business. But you don't want to seem cheap or behind the times, even if you are just going to watch The Man Who Sued God, because there's bound to be at least one film snob who gets really upset because the director's grand vision hasn't been fully realised. But if you take a tip from Todd, you can appear to be a hip cineast without the expense. All you got to do is build yourself a widescreen frame for your existing TV. Give it a lick of paint, then just glue this to your TV, making sure it covers the top and bottom bits of the screen. And there you have it. You're fully equipped for the glorious widescreen revolution. Of course, the picture will be smaller and harder to see, but don't worry, that's exactly the way film snobs like it. And if anyone dares to ask why you can't see the top of people's heads,
Just tell them it's the director's cut, but that you can program it to show a pan and scan version if they like. They'll be so frightened of being seen to be a Philistine, no one will say a word. Happy viewing.
These suicide bombers in the West Bank sure do get a lot of publicity. When you think about it, blowing yourself and a bus full of people to smithereens really is the ultimate publicity stunt. I'm surprised Richard Branson hasn't done it. So, if you've got a product or business that you want to promote, why don't you give it a go?
Of course I'm not advocating that you kill yourself. That'd be stupid. But think about it. Australia already has one of the world's highest youth suicide rates. If kids are killing themselves anyway, why not harness their marketing potential? You'll be doing them a favour if you don't let them die in vain. Meet Brian. He's 17 years old and lives 100 k's from the nearest person his age. He's lonely, tired of living up to his parents' expectations, and he's pretty sure he's gay. And out here, there's no one to talk to about it. So Brian has decided to end it all. Great news for me, because I want to raise the profile of my babysitting business. Now, I'm just going to get Brian to make a quick video, something that I can give to the TV networks to run on their various news bulletins. Go ahead, just say what I told you to say.
Penny's a really good babysitter. Call her on this number.
And cut. Perfect. Okay, you got your student concession card? Good.
Goodbye, Penny.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't want to be you. Oh, remember, it's the red button. And that's all there is to it. All publicity is good publicity. And the best way to promote your business is to make a lot of noise. See ya.
In many ways, having a mastectomy is a real downer. But once it's gone, you might as well look on the bright side. You never need to carry a handbag again. I'll show you what I mean. Instead of filling your empty bra cup with useless padding, why not use it as a storage pouch for all your bits and pieces? Simply sew in a backing and a clasp, making the redundant side of your bra into a handy pocket. And here it is. Plenty of room for lipstick, breath mints and house key. And if you're a D cup, you can fit all this and so much more. Tampons, perfume and capsicum spray. What time's Sula meeting us? Can I borrow your phone? And there you go, girls. A fabulous bra that gives you that chic shape, but with the convenience of built-in storage.
There's nothing like a fine glass of wine. Of course, most people have no idea what a fine wine is, because they're heathens, which is why it is always so painful having to share good wine when you go to a dinner party. So tonight, I'm going to show you how to bypass that dilemma. All you have to do is go to the bottle shop and purchase the cheapest bottle of cooking sherry. Then, run a sink full of hot water and soak off the label. Now, you don't want to rush it and tear the label, so take your time. And while you're waiting for the glue to dissolve, ring your hostess. How's it? Yes, it's Dr. Rudy here. I was just wondering what you are serving tonight, so I know what wine to bring. Okay. See you at 8 then. Bye now. Beef stroganoff. Well, Grange Hermitage should be perfect. Now, our sherry label should be ready. Simply stick it over our lovely bottle of wine.
Rudy, hello.
I bought some wine.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you'll probably get to have that all yourself. I don't think anyone else will drink sherry tonight.
Really? What a shame. Bye now.
Hey, Sigourney, did you notice that Penny wasn't around at the start of the show?
Yes, of course I did. I think we all did. We're just trying not to make a point of it.
Well, what happened? Where is she?
Apparently her bail didn't come through, so she won't be with us tonight.
Bail?
Oh, Todd, she's not the first lifestyle presenter to be bailed out of a compromising situation.
So when will she be back?
I don't know, but don't worry. I mean, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. If you've just had your home decorated, I bet you can't wait to throw a party and show it off to all your friends. Well, you mustn't. I can't emphasise this enough. You must not let your friends into your home. Not until you've had it thoroughly checked out. Because all it takes is one IKEA label showing, one curtain that clashes with the carpet, or one picture of dogs playing pool in the upstairs bathroom, and that's it. That'll be the one thing your friends snigger about for months. So you need to call in an expert. Ramon, darling.
Sigourney!
You need to get one of your gay friends to come over.
Oh, love what you've done with the play.
Why don't you take a look around? Gay men are like truffle pigs, on the scent of bad taste. Let one loose in your house and he'll sniff out any decorating sins, no matter how deep they're buried.
Ah, Sigourney, darling, this fabric does not go with the couch upholstery.
Oh my God, you're so right.
Oh, Sigourney, what were you thinking? Knickknacks are so 90s. Sigourney, you have frozen pizza in your freezer. Do you really want your friends to know you eat processed food?
Thank you so much for coming by.
Oh, my pleasure. I love what you've done with the place. It's really coming along.
What a relief. I can't believe I thought I was ready. Nothing beats a gay man for putting you in your place. And best of all, I don't have to worry about Ramon telling my girlfriends about my mistakes. They won't be talking to him this month. Not once I tell them how I walked in on him having sex with a woman.
If I was all to go shopping, I'd take my sister, but I'd even take a friend that's gay, yeah, I would. Because they're honest, and they'll tell me straightforward, like, if it suits me, if it looks good.
A lot of designers and hairdressers, most of them act pretty gay, and they're definitely good hairdressers.
They're not more artistic, but they're just, I think, trying to make a statement, maybe, to show that they're different.
Mate, fucking puffs are dickheads. I don't give a shit what they are. I don't think they're anything.
Jeez, I miss Penny.
Why?
I don't know. I just reckon she'd really like this next segment. If you're like me, it doesn't matter how much effort you put into your dental hygiene, it's still nearly impossible to get rid of the nicotine and caffeine stains on your teeth. And we all know that those whitening toothpaste and chewing gums just don't cut it. But don't worry, there is a cheap and simple alternative. All you need is a set of, that's right, ladies' fake fingernails. So many products with a dual purpose go unnoticed. You just need to think outside the set square. Just peel off the backing and stick it to the stained tooth. So take a tip from Todd. If your teeth are tainted, tar them up today.
I love hitchhiking. It's such an affordable way to travel. The only problem is, hitchhiking has received such bad press, and as a result, the only people game enough to pick you up will be psychopaths, serial killers, and kidnappers. Ah. Thanks, mate.
Which shouldn't be a problem, as long as you kidnap them first.
So where you want?
Now that I've made him harmless, I can take my time and enjoy the drive without having to worry about paying for my trip with my life.
Sure, technically I've committed one of the most serious crimes, but really there's no harm done. He wakes up 500 k's later, well rested and ready to continue with his drive. So if anything, I've done a public service,
helping this driver to stop, revive, survive. See ya.
Hi.
Hello.
You don't remember me, do you?
Of course I do, silly. I just have to powder my nose. Back in a sec. Although most people you meet are worth forgetting, is there anything more mortifying than forgetting the name of someone you've known? I mean, how do you know how to react to what they say? Of course, with the advent of palm computing, it's become easy to remember all those things you could never remember before. But it doesn't have to stop at just birthdays and star signs. You can record everything, and I mean everything. It's so easy and powerful. By entering and cross-referencing all the important things about a man on my database, it's easy to get a match on anyone you're unsure of. I've linked colour of hair, brand of suit, and condition of fingernail with job, suburb, tax bracket, and personal prowess. Then when I cross-reference, voila! Meet Tony, the 38-year-old Toorak chiropractor who drives a Porsche, likes sharing drinks when kissing, and ooh. Now with your trusty database, you need never be embarrassed again when you see faces you don't recognise immediately. So, how are those golden hands of yours, Tony? And there you have it, a powerful tool at my fingertips. Ah, that's it.
Well, Todd, look at the amount of letters we've received this week.
Are you worried about Penny, Dr. Rudy?
Worried? Why should I be worried?
Well, like with her being locked up and everything, it's not a very nurturing environment for a young lady.
Todd, you're talking about Penny. She's probably made a bunch of new friends, caught up with some old ones. She's a resourceful girl who knows how to take care of herself.
Yeah, but it's like jail. You know how you hear things?
Only if you listen.
Too true. So, what do we got coming up next?
Probably this.
In the roulette game of life, we're all waiting for the ball to drop into our slot. That's why we read our horoscopes in the paper. Of course, most of us know it's all crap. But there is a percentage of the population out there that actually believe in these mystics and psychics. These people are called bored, rich housewives. Sadly, the only way many of these bored, rich housewives can get spiritual is by slowly drinking themselves into oblivion in their well-appointed mansions. The good news is that these same women are willing to throw away good money to get a spiritual leg up. So, grab your coat of many colours, hang a shingle in the top end of town, and get your slice of the paranormal pie. In 1982, the federal government passed a bill called the Freedom of Information Act. Since all the other states have followed suit, you now have legal access to all the juicy and profitable tidbits of information floating about. If you're willing to wade through lots of files and bureaucracy, you can get your hands on all sorts of dirt and make it work for you. Place an ad in a local upmarket rag. Then when they leave their name and address on your answering machine, you'll already have leads to go to work on. By the time they log in for their reading, you should already have hit internet databases, the Land Titles Office, and family law court transcripts to find out plenty of information about your client. On the basis of this information, combined with signals from their bored, rich body language, I can make all sorts of educated guesses. Remember to keep it ambiguous, and they'll answer all their questions for you. Come, Lena. I am sensing by your aura you're about to engage in a money transfer.
Yes, Madam Penny. I have your money here.
Oh, I'm sensing some disquiet with your husband. See ya.
Ah, tops. It's a problem a lot of dog owners face. You come home, it's dark, chances are you're going to end up stepping in a lawn landmine. But don't worry, there is a way to make it easier to dodge his doo-doo in the dark. All you got to do is make some changes to your dog's diet. So from now on, why not feed him a meal that's 2 parts tin dog food, 1 part glowworms? Dogs love any food that's high in protein. I reckon this mix will go down a treat. So take a tip from Todd and dye your dog's diet daily. It'll ensure his lawn landmines are luminous and you won't put a foot wrong.
How's it? Dr. Rudy here. Are you worried about your teenage daughter having sex? The last thing you need is for your baby to have a baby. But unfortunately, it's a fact of nature. Once she bleeds, she breeds. So when your little girl hits puberty, you're going to have to start thinking about sex prevention strategies. You could show her how to use a condom. But condoms are only effective 99% of the time. Even less if the randy little prick refuses to wear one. No, it isn't enough to fill your daughter's head with idealistic theories, give her a handful of condoms and let her make decisions for herself. If you want her to stay sterile, it's up to you to stop the boys from making a move. You need to make your daughter unattractive to the opposite sex. And the best way to do that is to get her fat. Get her to eat lots of fatty foods and carbohydrates. The aim is to keep her weighing 85 kilos from the ages of 12 to 21. That way, she'll stay as pure as the driven snow. Sure, you may find her disgusting to look at yourself, but it's better to have a fatty bombard in the family than a filthy slut. Then when she comes of age, you can starve her down and marry her off. Bye now.
Exercise is very important for the modern woman. This is Tai Chi, a stylized form of exercise that also helps develop a calm and tranquil mind through the movements of martial arts. Each movement has a different name. This is the crane. As you probably know, martial arts are used for self-defense. And I've found that in most cases, when an 85-kilo man is getting physical with you, these ancient teachings are completely useless. So I've developed and teach my own form of martial art that's more effective than any Tai Chi, Jiu-Jitsu or Taekwondo. I call it Comply Can Do. Morning, ladies.
Morning, Tagani.
Comply Can Do is the modern martial art of rolling with the punches, teaching you how to take a fall without hurting yourself, while helping to develop a calm and empty mind, free from any antagonism or backtalk. Now, like Tai Chi, each Comply Can Do movement has a different name. I call this movement the kiss of the doorknob. It looks simple enough, but there are a couple of tricks to it. Firstly, make sure you turn your head to match the projection of the fist. Turning it the wrong way will double the effects of the impact. Turning it the right way will make it feel more like a graze instead of a break. I call this one miscarriage by moonlight. Simply arch your back while tensing the stomach muscles. Then, as you double over, expel as much air as possible to avoid being winded. Now, it has to be one fluid movement, so your man doesn't feel you pulling away from him or offering any sort of resistance. I call this movement the shy turtle. The goal here is to provide the ribs with protection from any stray kicks. So, as soon as you're forced to the floor, tuck your head towards your knees, fold your arms, and then place your hands over your ears. Now, any blows that land will be on the fleshier parts of the body, meaning less broken bones for you and less split knuckles for him. Comply
Can Do.
Nice work. And there you go, ladies. So, if a bit of a rough and tumble's your man's thing, why not give Comply Can Do a go? A low-impact exercise that lets you enjoy the slap as well as the tickle.
Well, I'm near on speechless, but here we are at the end of another show.
Yes, and haven't we improved a lot of people's lives? And if we haven't...
Make sure you tune in next week, because we've got another top show coming your way.
And in the meantime, why not go on a spiritual journey and discover yourself?
Oh, and Penny, you can see us now. I hope you're doing okay.
Good night, Australia.
Shinty Park.
Welcome to this week's episode of Life Support.
The only lifestyle program that shows you all how to do it all.
While giving you all 4 of the experts.
It's great to be here for you tonight.
Oh, it sure is. I'm Todd, and tonight I'll be showing all you 9 to 5ers a great way to catch up on some Z time during work time.
I'm Sigourney, and tonight I'll be showing all you modern women how to deal with the devastating dilemma of getting a bad haircut.
I'm Penny, and a little later I'll be letting you sisters in on the best way to deal with a pain in the ass big brother.
How's it, Dr. Rudy here, and tonight I'll be introducing you men to a great way to work out without uncomfortable objectification.
Oh, finally, I'll be looking out for that.
But it's best to look out for everything.
That's right. So let's begin, shall we?
Recently, the police force has resorted to using sniffer dogs on public transport to detect drugs. In my opinion, this unfairly discriminates against environmentally aware drug dealers who choose public transport over less green alternatives like private vehicles. Anyway, if you're a drug dealer and you're worried about getting your dope to a deal, don't despair. Here's what you do. Simply get yourself a Labrador. Wrap your gear in a condom and shove it up your pooch's bum. Then if a police sniffer dog starts sniffing your dog's bum, it's unlikely to arouse suspicion because dogs sniff each other's bums all the time. See ya.
There's nothing worse than starting the working day exhausted due to a bad sleep the night before. And if you're a tradesman like me, all physical on that, people don't like it when you nap or go slow on the job. So unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. But for those of you who earn at the office, there is a way to catch up on that lost sleep time during work time. I'll show you how. To start with, paint some white out on your eyelids. Then use a whiteboard marker to draw on some eyes. Then run a length of coat hanger wire through the length of your tie. Bending it here, you've made yourself a little stand to prop up your chin. Now, remember, Your head weighs about 5 kilograms, and when you're sleeping, you're fully relaxed. So, if you don't want to asphyxiate, a Windsor knot is a bit thicker and will probably protect your throat better. Now, remember, you want everyone to think you're really enjoying yourself. So, bend a couple of paper clips into the shape of some small hooks. Then, loop a rubber band around your ears and clip the hooks into the corners of your mouth. And you've made yourself a little smile aid. Now, all you need to do is lean forward, relax, both hands above the desk, and settle into some high-grade, uninterrupted dream time. Oh, remember, a boss likes a worker who turns up early, works through lunch, finishes late, and keeps quiet. So, whilst you catch up on sleep you didn't get last night, you could be in line for a promotion, and who knows, you may even sleep your way to the top.
Keep up the good work, Todd.
It's becoming an increasing problem for fit, attractive, heterosexual men like you and me. The constant, unsolicited ogling of your physique by gay men. It is happening with increasing regularity and in increasingly surprising locations. Even a heterosexual retreat like this gymnasium. Such objectification demeans us and can pose questions that we'd rather not ponder. You may be surprised to know that not all of us are so thrilled at being a gay icon, but don't worry, there is a way to enjoy freedom from the scrutiny with dignity. Just borrow an idea from another race of men that can't control themselves. Simply cover the contours of your arousing physique in a loose-fitting, light and breezy chador, relatively cheap and in surplus supply, thanks to the recent downsizing of the Afghani market. Now you can enjoy being out for a workout in total comfort, and the unrestricting nature of your new attire means it's perfect for all those physical occasions where you feel on display. On the football field, on a bike, and it's perfect if you are a lifesaver, especially on a Sydney beach. So there you have it, men. Don't put up with gratuitous gag gaping. Take away the temptation and feel the freedom only your forefathers could have known. Bye now.
If the men do it, then everyone would be covered up and no one really know how they look like or what their true colours are.
It'd be awful. You'd live in a society where it didn't really matter what looks depended on, and coming from a fashion industry, that's quite important.
I don't think it would become a fashion unless, like, for really ugly people who don't want to be seen or really shy or something, maybe.
Like walking around like that in society, it's just not on.
You know, if the women have to wear them, the men should wear them. Why not? At least it'll be a surprise, you know? Yeah. When they take it off. I don't know what kind of surprise you're talking about.
Fabulous idea. I think Dr. Rudy is so pioneering in his thinking.
I reckon he's a little out of touch. Gay culture already wears the chador.
Oh, Penny, don't be absurd. I have plenty of gay friends and none of them could possibly cut hair wearing a chador.
Yeah? Well, take a look at this.
So what have you been up to? How's Gary? So what are you going to do with your hair?
See? They're all the rage at the minute.
Oh, Penny, that's fabulous. What a fundamentally fresh fashion feature. And I must say, here's another one. Wearing a suit, I see.
That's right.
Do you have a court appearance?
No. Why would I have to go to court?
Well, after last week when you weren't here because your bail didn't come through.
Bail?
Yes, we thought that's why you didn't join us last week. Apparently you were locked up.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Just another night in the clink. No biggie. So, what's coming up next, Sigourney?
I don't know, Penny. Why don't we take a look?
Looking for a new muffler, or you're in the market for a new house, everyone's trying to get the best deal possible. And you can save thousands if you know what you're doing. A lot of people out there are practically throwing away their hard-earned because they don't know the simple secrets to picking up a bargain. Well, it's time for me to let you in on those secrets. First, get yourself a local paper. If you're after a fridge, for example, the Trading Post is probably best. If it's a new house, any real estate section will do. Okay, now you scour the for sale sections and mark the items that match what you want. Here we are, fridges. Okay, sure, it took me a few minutes, but it's a worthwhile investment. I've got a list of available fridges. Okay, here's the important part. Just carefully choose the cheapest one. There, that's the one. It's that simple. I reckon I've saved $250 right there on what I would have spent if I bought the most expensive one. And it's the same with just about anything you want to buy. You want to save thousands on a new house? Just shop around and buy the cheapest one. But how do you know the one you're buying is the cheapest one? Well, first you'll need a calculator like this. If you subtract the price of the fridge that you want to buy from the price of another fridge, and you get a number that's more than 0, that means that your fridge is cheaper. So remember, save money every time like the professionals do. No, not the expensive one, the cheaper one.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
No worries.
Now, you know I don't like to harp on about issues, but on one issue, I just can't stay silent any longer. As a modern woman, I feel it is my duty to speak out about the sizing of women's clothing. Take a look at this dress. It's a size 14 and it costs $200. Now, take a look at this dress. It's exactly the same, but it's a size 8 and it also costs $200. Isn't that appalling? The size 8 uses significantly less material and thread, and yet it costs the same amount. Just isn't fair. Essentially, thin women are being forced to subsidise fat women's clothing. So, if you're a properly proportioned modern woman like me, and you're sick of suffering from plus-size prejudice, why not do what I do? When you're buying a dress, always buy the bigger size. Then, when you get home, remove the excess fabric from your dress by cutting along the seam line. And then re-sew for your figure-fitting size 8. Looks fabulous, doesn't it? And look at all the leftover fabric I've got to accessorise with. There's enough to make this darling Dorothy bag, a cute case for my mobile phone, and a classy cover for my car's steering wheel. That's over $100 worth of accessories. And it didn't cost petite me a cent. So, next time you feel like buying up big, think big.
Geez, it's good to have you back, Penny. I was a little worried about you last week.
You needn't have concerned yourself. I was just fine.
Yeah, but hearing you're all locked up, missing the whole show, I must say it didn't seem very you at all, which makes me wonder if it is.
What are you trying to say, Todd?
I'm just saying that I've noticed that you've changed.
Changed? Changed how?
I don't know, just like your hair, your voice, your face.
Todd?
And you look a bit shorter, and I swear you were right-handed last year.
What are you talking about? Last year I was exactly the same.
Yeah? Can you prove it?
All right, I'll show you a bit from last year's show. Remember that time when I was telling everyone about feng shui and the best way to get free fresh flowers? Simply grab a floral tribute from one of the road's numerous black spot florists. This bunch looks fresh enough to last through an Easter long weekend. See? Same face, same voice.
Same attitude, but still something doesn't feel quite right.
All right, I know. Remember the time when Sigourney and I were trying to help out that little boy? Here's what you have to do. Just grab a Polaroid camera and take some naked pictures of yourself. Then leave those in your teacher's staff room pigeonhole. Once they're discovered, he won't be teaching at your or any other school ever again.
Well, there you go. It was you.
See? Everything's exactly the same.
Yeah. I don't know after watching that.
Does Sigourney seem a little different to you?
Todd, no one has time for this. They'd rather be watching this.
You know, a very important part of a man's health is his self-esteem. And self-esteem is always tested in your friendships because your friends are the ones who will always try to put you down in a social situation. It's a tribal thing. Every social group has an unspoken pecking order, and life is a competition to see who is the alpha male. So whether you are talking about the Australian cricket team or what's happening in the Middle East, winning an argument can be terribly important for your self-esteem. So what do? Well, don't waste your time with schoolboy debating tricks or actually knowing what you are talking about. There is a much quicker and more enjoyable way to make sure you will win any argument. All you have to do is sleep with all your friends' wives.
To do bad things, feign a lot. Ergo, Jerry Adams.
There is no more powerful comeback to a devastatingly well-argued demolition of your views on the problems in Northern Ireland than to say...
Ergo yourself, and that's why you're completely wrong.
Oh yeah? Well, I slept with your wife, and she loved it. Of course, you may not even have to use this debating weapon of mass destruction. Just knowing that the person you're arguing with doesn't have a clue that you've balked his wife will give you a very powerful feeling of superiority, sure to boost your self-esteem. But beware, there is a remote possibility that they may come back with the old, "Oh yeah? Well, I've slept with yours." So to make sure of your ground, make sure also that you slept with their daughter, or at least give them a good tongue pash.
Why didn't somebody tell me about this? Excuse me? Finally me! Hey! No, you come back here!
And that's all there is to it, men. A guaranteed and fun way to boost your self-esteem. Bye now. Gin. This quiche is a triumph.
Hey, next time you're in the supermarket, don't walk past this little machine. Even though you haven't paid for it, you're still allowed to use it. Think I'll try the Italian blend. Oh yeah, this fresh stuff's full on. Oh yeah, a hardcore hit. Best of all, if you don't take it through the checkout, you don't have to pay for it. Suits me, because I'll never buy coffee. It causes cancer. See ya.
Ladies, when it's time to move up in the world, it's just so difficult to know which suburb to move into. After all, we all judge a woman by where she lives. So, why not test drive a potential suburb before you commit? Of course, any suburb worth considering will have lots of smart curbside cafes and eateries. So, slip into your best get what you want dress, pick the prime seat, order a latte, open the street directory and assume the position. Don't forget that I'm lost look. If it is the right suburb, it will only be a matter of time before a suitable gentleman will stop to ask you if you need assistance. Befriend this gentleman and go home with him. An overnight stay is the best way to get a good feel for any potential suburb. Use the opportunity to take a look over the fences in your potential neighbourhood, discover what the traffic noise is like at night, and determine how long it will take to drive to the beautician in the morning. And there you have it, girls. Using a local to test drive a potential suburb will give you a real insight and take the guesswork out of your choices. Not to mention giving you ample opportunity to check out some charming, eligible gentlemen.
Well, Dr. Rudy, it's great to be back and solving problems. Like the one in this letter from Cameron of Subiaco.
Ah, good day, WA.
And it's addressed to you, Dr. Rudy. Dear Dr. Rudy, I was watching the show a couple of weeks ago and was relieved to see you offering a cure for impotence. I did as you said and lit a bushfire for that pyromaniac arousal, but still nothing happened. Is there something else I can do? I'm willing to try anything. Please help.
Well, Cameron, it seems my bushfire remedy is not for everyone. But don't worry, there is a guaranteed cure for impotent people like you. Try and have sex with someone you actually find attractive.
That's it? That's ridiculous.
Excuse me, young lady. It's not as ridiculous as someone taking a sickie on national television and then gobbling together some ludicrous story as a cover.
All right. There was another reason I wasn't here last week.
Yes?
I had really bad pash rash all over my chin.
My word.
Yeah, and I couldn't go on camera. It looked like someone had taken to me with an orbital sander. And then it got infected.
How romantic.
Yeah, it was pretty worth it.
And who was the perpetrator of this passionate act?
It's just some guy. No one you or anyone else on the team would know.
Really? Well, I thought that you and young...
Come on, guys. We haven't got time for all this chin wagging, because right now it's time for the next segment.
Stop it, Macy! Stop it, Macy! Stop it, Macy!
It has a particular blue...
Having a big brother can be a real pain in the ass. For most of us, it rounds out to about 10 years of hitting, spitting and verbal abuse. And after trying everything to stop the imbecile, you soon realise that there's just no reasoning with a dumb animal like that. But don't worry, sister siblings, because there is a simple way to stop that tormenting permanently. All you have to do is install a concealed closed-circuit camera in your brother's bedroom. So you can record some of his more tempestuous self-love sessions. Just make sure you position it so you get a good shot of his bed. Then the next time he's hitting, teasing, or just annoying you...
Break me! All right, then.
Simply show him the video you have. Then tell him that if he doesn't leave you alone, you'll post the footage on the internet. Then the whole world can watch him go for a gallop, not to mention his back-breaking attempts to blow himself. Remember, it's a good idea to make more than one tape. At his age, that shouldn't be a problem. And make sure you stash them away somewhere so he can't find and destroy them. And that's all there is to it. You'll find that not only will he leave you alone now, he'll bend over backwards to be nice to you anytime he can.
I'll squeeze you some orange juice.
Oh, thanks. Not only that, but you've denied him his most simple pastime pleasure. There's no way he'll be game to have another go now. See ya.
There's nothing worse than coming home from the hairdresser, looking at yourself in the mirror and realising you have a bad haircut. Obviously, your first instinct is to kill yourself, but you can't, because there might be an open casket. And if you have to go out before you have time to get your haircut professionally fixed, then you're in a tricky situation, because your friends are going to make fun of you. I hate those bad haircut jokes. Who cut your hair? The council? You look like you were run over by a lawnmower. Some things just shouldn't be joked about. So, if you don't want to be made a mockery, this calls for drastic action. Brace yourselves. This is what you have to do. Hi everyone. Sorry I'm late. My chemotherapy got bumped back. At the end of the day, your friends will be so shocked by your bald head and so embarrassed by your terminal illness, they'll never realise you were stupid enough to go to a cheap hairdresser. So there you have it. If you have to be an object of pity, it's better to be pitied for a disease than a fashion faux pas. How are you? Tell me, what have I missed? Well, here we are at the end of another show.
And personally, it couldn't have come any sooner.
But don't worry, Australia. We will be back next week.
And who knows, we might have a couple more surprises for you.
And in the meantime, why not start writing your memoirs?
And thanks, everyone, for all your letters of concern.
But before we go, I just want to stress that my haircut segment was just a dramatisation. I've never had a bad haircut.
Neither have I. And on that note, we better go.
And remember, we're here for you.
Good night, Australia.